3, 2, 1.
What's going on, boys?
What's going on,
Where were you training today, man?
We did chest. Brett and I went over to that new Raw.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty awesome gym, man. They did a really good job with it. Dorian and Dom and Matt and them, they did a really awesome job with it. But the just because it's a new facility and stuff, it's a little weird over there. So my phone wasn't connected to the Wi-Fi. And then Brett and I train every day together. So we rode over there together because it's about 30 minutes from our house.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, bro, like, let's just run home and I'll just do this when we get done. Or get home. So
Nice. So you're in Florida now?
yeah. So I'm in Stuart now. We're like 10 minutes from the old Raw and Revive gym. And we're about 30 minutes from that new one.
Nice. When did you move there?
8 weeks out from Detroit.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I just originally, bro, my plan was to come out here, just do the prep with Brett. He's got a spare bedroom, so he was like, come out, you can just live with me for right now and we'll push each other, get each other better, and then make a decision from there. And I was probably here for about 4-ish weeks. And I was like, this is the best environment for me. Brett and I have been training together since 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been about 5 years of us banging elbows, and we know each other best, and he pushes me the best. So I was just like, you know what? My lease is up in Dallas. I'm just doing month to month. I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna pack all my shit up and I'm gonna come out here. So that's what I did, man. And it's honestly been the best decision I ever could have made.
That's wicked. I guess you guys weren't training for a bit, like, because was he in Dallas too, or no?
No, yeah. So we split up. We went 2019, 2020, and 2021. We were in Denver together.
Yeah.
Did all those preps. My prep for 21, I went with him. And then as soon as I went into the off season, I moved to Dallas about mid 21. And he moved to Florida. And then so we spent about a year apart, and we would just link up for 2-3 weeks at a time here and there. Like he would come to Dallas for GASP, be there for a week. We would get some sessions in, then I would fly. I came out here and lived with him a couple times, like for a month or 3 weeks or so, a couple times. And we always knew kind of like the gang would get back together. We just didn't know when it would be or where the location would be. But yeah, man, this year was just kind of one of those things where I was like, look, man, like everything is clicking perfectly, so there's no reason for me to leave. And I didn't have any commitment in Dallas. I wasn't even with the supplement sponsor out there anymore. So I was like, let's make it work. So
That's unreal, man. Yeah, I've seen you guys training together for a while, and like probably one of the best like combinations of like pro bodybuilders I've seen like training together lately. It's like you don't see too many I don't know, I don't see too many pros that consistently train together like that. Like that's
yeah,
rare.
man, that's funny. We were actually talking about that today in the session. We had a camera kid, and he was just snapping photos today because I got my Trained by JP clothing, and he was kind of asking like the dynamic. He was like, it's like a pretty selfish sport, right? And like obviously like most guys kind of do their own thing or train on their own, or like you said, like you see guys kind of have a relationship for a while and then all of a sudden like they kind of go they're both separate ways. And I told him, I said, I think there's a couple factors that factor into that for Brett and I. One is we both started training together before we were ever important in bodybuilding. Like before we ever had an ego or a name or anything, it was just two bros that were trying to make something out of ourselves, lifted together. So I think that's part of it, is like we both truly care about the other one's career, want to see the other one do well. And that's hard to find, that genuine you want, you know, I said it to my camera kid too. He's the only one that I want to be as successful or have as much success as me, you know, like in all selfishness, like I don't want any other bodybuilder to beat me or be as good as me, but for Brett, I do, you know, so I think that's one of the things. And then two, just time, you know, you see over the years, we know exactly what works. I know his cues. I know how many reps he has left. Like, I mean, it's crazy, bro. I can like literally tell him like 5, or I can tell him 8, and like he's not fading at all or anything. And by the 8th one, that's his last one. And the camera kid's like, "This is insane." And I'm like, I know him top to bottom. Like we've been doing it together forever, you know. So I truly want to see him succeed like my brother or my best friend. And then the other thing is like, I think a lot of guys just have the relationship in the gym. You know, Brett and I are best friends outside of the gym. We hang out outside of the gym. I'm part of the family. I go over, I'm Uncle Mark to his daughter and those things, you know. So I think that also has a big contributing factor to us sticking together and always being by each other's side and kind of through thick and thin, you know.
Yeah, no, I think that's honestly amazing because like both of you guys are, easily like some of the better, like to be honest, some of the best pros out there, right? Because you're both like, well, you're getting ready for your first Olympia, and he's been on the Olympia stage, I think just once, right?
So he qualified last year, but he didn't get to compete because of some health
Yeah, I
things.
remember that. Yeah.
But yeah, so we've both qualified, man. We would like to do the first one together. Maybe we can get him qualified here at the end of the year and be able to do it together, you know. But yeah, no, absolutely. Two top guys. And it is hard, bro. I think the biggest thing, like I said, is us kind of coming up together keeps the ego from really getting involved in it. You know, I'm sure, you know, as you get better and you become a top guy, then you start looking at, you know, who you're training with as competition or this or that. Whereas like we started this before that was ever even an idea of us being on the Olympia stage. You know, it's just two buddies trying to make it as pros. I wasn't even a pro yet. Brett had just won his pro card and moved to Denver to kind of pursue bodybuilding full force. He actually won his pro card in Classic, if I don't know if you remember.
I remember that, yeah.
But yeah, so he was like, I just was showing the camera kid, bro, like I got some pictures of us both at like 210 pounds.
Yeah.
And, you know, and now we're both like 250, 260, and like just look like we ate the other guy. But like the cool thing is seeing the journey, you know, because it's like you said, not a lot of people have that where they went through the whole thing with their best friend the whole time. So it's definitely it's a privilege, man. I couldn't be more thankful.
No, that's unreal. And like, especially like you're getting ready for your first Olympia, which is crazy. Because like, how old are you now?
27.
Which is nuts, man. I'm like 5 years older than you. That's nuts.
Young.
But because I remember like a few years back, I think it was 2021, like we both did the Legion.
Yep.
I remember you
Yep.
doing that show and like already like even at like you would have been like I guess like 24 then. And
Yep.
like you're already like cracking top 5 at like a pretty competitive show. And
Yeah,
like
man,
I
that
was
was
like,
cool. That was a fun show. That was a really cool show. Like, except for Sean Clarida beat all of us big boys' asses. So
yeah, he looked insane. I pretty much knew he's gonna win as soon as I walked backstage and saw him. Like he looked insane that show.
I remember texting. I remember texting a few people, but I remember texting Brett backstage and telling him like, "Bro, Clarida's gonna win this," and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "This." He looks like he's so pumped back here. He's about to pop.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never seen somebody this round and this pumped. I was like, it's gonna be a crazy look, man. And sure as hell, beat
Yeah.
us all.
Yeah,
Made
Clarida's got
everybody
so
look
much
like
mass on
rookies.
that little frame. Was that when what year was that? The Legion, was that like
2021, I
the
think.
Olympia? Yeah.
Yeah,
When he
2021,
won
right
two,
after the Olympia.
Yeah.
yeah, he was insane.
It was a
Talking
cool look.
He was only like a couple pounds heavier than his Olympia look, but he was just like the fullness and conditioning.
yeah.
He looked like a mini Ronnie Coleman or something. It was insane.
Yeah, bro. It was wild.
Martin, you look pretty crazy too, man. I saw you in Toronto. You were just walking by. I walked in the gym. I was just getting in, and you walked by me, and I was like, "Holy fuck!" Who? And then I recognized you, and I was like, "Holy shit!" And I just walked by you. And then I saw you in the gym. I think you were doing some shoots and stuff, so I left you alone. I was gonna say hey,
Yeah.
but I mean, man, you looked insane. Well, obviously the New York Pro, I wasn't there, but from the pictures, I don't know, man. I like your physique a lot, so I'm not gonna comment as to who I think, should have got top spot in that show, but I think your physique is like phenomenal, just the way it flowed, and you were so conditioned that show. Like your conditioning was phenomenal, man. So
Thank
fucking
you, brother.
congrats. You look great.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that very much. No, I think one thing, man, is, my conditioning's never been off necessarily. But this was one after Detroit, I said, like, we're gonna go for broke. Like, if I show up flat and whatever, then like it happens. But like I know my physique, and like, bro, you'd have to beat my ass to make me look flat and kind of shitty. Like, I'm so round, like you can starve me for days and stuff, and I'm still gonna stay bubbly and round and stuff. And I didn't know cardio this prep at all. So it was just training and stuff. And so I knew, like, pushing into New York, like, conditioning is going to be my superpower. Like, I can get further than anyone else. And then the flow is good. So I know if we saran wrapped it, I'm not the biggest guy, but it will show how big you are when you're really lean. So I was super happy with that package. And like you said, it was a toss up. I had people in the crowd that said, I'm a Nick Walker fan, and I still had you winning. And then I still had people that said, like, hey, it was close, but I can see why they gave it to Nick, and I can see it too. Very happy with the presentation and the showing and all those things, and also know that we can still be better. The cool thing is like, we came off stage and boss was like, I think I can still push you further in conditioning. I think we can be 2 or 3 pounds bigger. This is a pose I want you to fix. This is a pose I want you to fix. I just started doing yoga to get my mobility better so I can pose better there. Just trying to pull out all the stops, because I really think if we do the right things going into this, I really do think I could crack that top 5, man. I know that's a bold statement, and we have some crazy good guys that are all fighting for that top 5 spot. But again, my superpower is that conditioning, man. I think that puts me the closest in comparison with Lunsford and Hottie. So if I can just bring that, man, and be a few pounds heavier, I think I can be really dangerous, bro.
Agreed with everything you just said. Totally.
No, I
I was
think so
actually
too. Because like when you think about, like when you look at the top guys now, and like, even with myself, we're just like, I'm naturally like bigger frame and everything, but I don't have that crazy small waist like a guy like Martin, where it's just like Martin's waist is small, so like it makes him look like, even when he's on stage, like how much were you when you're on stage?
I
Like,
was
or show day?
236.
Yeah, because you look on stage, you look like you're like 250 plus easy. Because like,
what's
with
your
the
height, Martin? What's your height?
5'7".
yeah,
Yeah, actually that's Goldilocks zone, man.
yeah, no, he
5'7",
looks
that's
Yeah,
a good
he looks
bro.
a
height.
lot bigger,
Yeah,
and that's the
so
thing that I noticed
I
is like,
mean, to put it in perspective, right? So Nick and I are the exact same height. We're both 5'7", right? New York, he said he was about 258 on stage when we were talking backstage. So it just, in comparisons, I mean, he didn't make me look small. He didn't expose me or make me look like a little kid up there or anything like that. So 236 versus what, 22 pounds bigger than me and still holding my own, like, that shape matters, man. People don't realize how much it really can make such a huge difference. And I think a lot of these open guys, bro, are so scared to watch the scale go down. It's like, oh my God, I'm under 240. I'm not going to be competitive. Now, I don't think everyone is like me. I do think I have some hollow bones, and I think it's a little bit unfair probably on my weight versus others. But I do think that some of these guys get too caught up in that and like trying to be big when, like, really, if you just got saran wrapped, it will look big, man. Like, there's a lot of muscle on a little frame if it's really shredded. But the other thing that helps me with that is I grew up in Denver, and I watched Phil. And when Phil won his first Olympia, bro, he weighed 232. Jay was like 255. All these other dudes that were in the lineup were like 260s and 240s and stuff. And Phil was like the epitome of perfection. So it really doesn't matter. If it mattered, they would weigh you on stage.
Yeah, yeah.
You
We were
know,
we
so
we were just talking about Quint in Toronto. You were in Toronto, right,
yeah,
man?
yeah,
Do you see were you around Sunday? You were, I know you were there
yep,
Saturday for your girl, but
yep.
did you stick around for so Quentin's like a tall guy, and like this is where conditioning is a thing, you know, like but for some people, I think if they push too much, they lose a lot of density and they try to get really lean. So I think that's why some of the open guys, like Big Ramy is another good example. I think they tried that with him too, and he just flattened right out. So you probably have that gift. I know when I was younger, like I could come in very lean and conditioning wasn't an issue. So when you're young, you kind of like it just works. And if it works for you, then fuck, then yeah, that's the perfect look, man. Weight means nothing. But for people that have trouble with conditioning, I think it means a lot. So like there's two types of people. And you got the gift, man. Like you said, you got the gift.
No, and I mean, I do agree with you. Like I said, I definitely don't think everybody should compare myself to me because I do like I'm very lucky, man. Like I look 20 pounds bigger than I am. Like Keon always used to say, like, there's black genetics in there somewhere, bro, because there's no way you're white and look like that. And it's a funny joke, but actually my mom's dad is half black. So like I have like a little
A
bit
little
in
bit in
me
there.
and
Yeah.
it shows through, man. Like I definitely have rounder muscle bellies than most guys do, and I hold fullness like super well. Like I said, like you can pretty much starve me, and like I'm not really gonna go flat, man. Like it takes a lot for me to go flat. So, and even my flat, like if you don't know and you haven't seen pictures consistently, you're like, you're not flat, and I'm like, let me roll my eyes at you and laugh. Hold on, let me Brett tell him that I'm flat.
Talk
So
about that a bit because I listened to your coach on Fuwat. And this was after he competed in New York. And he was talking about how, you know, he tries to like he doesn't try to get rid of the water. He tries to manipulate the water so it goes into the muscle, right? So I
mhm.
don't quite know. Like I listened to him. It sounded like you guys kind of had a conservative strategy. Do you want to like tell us about what that whole process looked like? Because I think
Sure.
it's really interesting because you fuck man, you looked amazing. And I think a lot of people would want to know, not that they're you and not that they can pull it off, but they might want to know kind of what you did for that piece.
Yeah, for sure, man. So I think one, I'll say this just straight off the bat, man. Like, Boss is an absolute genius, man. Like, from a scientific standpoint, he went to school to be a doctor. He knows everything from a physiological standpoint, and then also knows how to manipulate it in a bro science bodybuilder-esque way, right? I went to pharmacy school, so I can relay things to him very well in a medical fashion too, which helps us communicate really well in that terms. But really overall, like it's not too crazy what we do, man. So one thing we do is we pull protein down like almost to non-existent numbers, right? Um, that's gonna do two things. One, eliminate any GI distress that comes with that. Protein is usually the hardest thing to digest. And honestly, a lot of people don't realize this, but a lot of food sensitivities are your protein versus any of the other food sources you eat. So you could be slightly allergic to chicken and be eating it the whole prep and not know. But by eliminating that protein source out in those last few days, and you don't need it, it's not like we're building muscle. I think that that can eliminate some inflammation, as well as it makes my digestion like perfect. So that's the first thing. Um, then the second thing is I personally can do a shitload of carbs to load. I don't think everybody could do what I do, but I do think that the approach is very understandable on how he goes about things. So we start 3 days out, or if you were weighing in, you'd start right as soon as you weighed in. But for me, it was like I'm running like 800 carbs, then 1100 carbs, then 1200 carbs, and then 300 or 400 carbs again before stage. Now, one, you have to take in consideration I'm eliminating a lot of calories from what was coming from protein. So I have to make those calories up. So a lot of those carbs are still protein carbs, if you will, or calories, protein calories, if you will, just sparing those. And then we're adding in fats, kind of just trickling them in to hold on to the fullness necessarily. And the massive amount of carbohydrates is doing two things. One, it's eliminating cortisol and stress. Your body, you know, is soaking up that food. It just, you get a better night's sleep, those type of things. But then two, such a high amount of carbs, you know, water, to make glycogen, you need water as well. So in that sense as well, you're going to be peeing off a lot of that glycogen, pushing water off. So some of those carbs are actually like a natural diuretic as well, keeping you dry. But outside of that, man, we do 9 to 10 meals a day, around 100 to 150 carbs a piece, a touch of fats, like I said, almost non-existent protein in them. And then as carbs go up, we taper water down. So it's not a system of getting rid of it, because
Oh shit. Martin just cut out. We'll edit that out.
gosh dang it, sorry about that, boys.
No, man.
all
Did
good.
you say gosh dang it? Fuck.
Yes.
Is that from Dallas when you were in Dallas? Is that a Dallas thing?
That's a
gosh,
Wyoming thing, middle of nowhere.
Wyoming. Okay,
Oh,
okay,
dude.
bro. Sorry, man. We're from Canada, eh? So we don't. You were in Toronto, you know. I
Yep.
don't know what Canadians sound like. You know what's funny to me? Like when I go to New York State, I'm kind of like Ontario's kind of like New York State.
Right.
Yeah, you know, like all the provinces kind of relate to like a certain state. But anyways, go back to what you were saying, Mark. What, your phone die or what happened?
Yeah, bro, I literally have it sitting right beside the charger and didn't plug it in. Just,
I
you
knew
know,
it.
got right into talking with you guys and forgot to plug her in. But yeah, so back to what I was saying, the carbs act as a natural diuretic. And then as I'm tapering carbs up, we're tapering water down. And this is something you kind of have to find as a person, what kind of works best for you on how low or how much water you can handle, right? So this was actually some notes that we took from Detroit in going into New York. Is like, I told him, like, I can actually push into more dehydration than what we did for Detroit. I'm like, I think we kept water a little bit too high. And that's why we got the better look at finals than we did at prejudging, was just a little bit too much water the day before. So I think for Detroit, the day before carbs were very similar. It was about 1,300 carbs, and water was at 4 liters that day. Before New York, I did the same amount of carbs on about 2.5 liters. And that got us a much crisper, better look.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, provided you didn't use like a diuretic or something, like a heavy diuretic. I think that's a mistake people make.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
I mean, you know, you
So
start popping diuretics too early, you flush out on Thursday, you just fucked up everything.
yeah, and I think a big thing a lot of people make mistakes with is the other thing is sodium. So one thing that we do is we control that entirely. I weigh my sodium out in the morning, and that's controlled through the entire day. Whereas I don't think a lot of people do that. In my past, I always had a coach tell me, keep it consistent. Okay. But we all know, as you are eating no carbs, yeah, it's easy to keep salt consistent. You salt the protein that you eat, and you just eat the protein. You know, you probably salted it when you cooked it, right? But then as you add carbohydrates in, carbs always taste better with more sodium. So I started like thinking back on notes and stuff of like me, I've always had it to load with lots of carbs. And I was probably going from like 6 grams of sodium a day to then when we put in these 1,000 grams of carbs, I'm probably doing like 18 grams a day. Well, there's no way you're not going to be a watery piece of shit the next day after you do that much sodium and that many carbs. And, you know, so that was something that I really had to take in consideration. And I think that's a big control factor for me of how to keep things very on point and kind of progressing off of each meal versus getting this kind of up and down state. And then the last thing that I think Boss does that's really awesome, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, that's what cookie cutter coaches do, is he sets the whole day out for me. So I know roughly like what I'm going to eat the entire day. And then if he needs to make manipulations, even though I'm sending pictures after each meal, But most of the time it's like go as planned. And both of two things. One, when he says go as planned, I know that the thing that he planned a week ago is he's already knew that my body was going to do these things. That gives me a lot of reassurance and kind of makes me feel comfortable in his decision making. But two, then like I'm not stressed. I can take 2-3 meals with me when we go to the tan. I can, and I'm not worried about what's the next meal and what's this and what do I need to have. And I think that makes a big factor. And then another thing that Boss does good is controlling cortisol. You know, he's telling me this looks good and you look good and go take a nap. And if you don't get off your feet, I'm going to kick your ass. And those little things I think really matter, man. I think cortisol is probably one of the biggest factors that people don't take into consideration. And just being calm, going into it, knowing you're your best. I think we all want to win. Don't like that's as true as it comes. There's nobody that does this because you want to just go have funsies, right? Like, let's be honest. Like, we all went to do it for a gold trophy. But remember that in bodybuilding, like, it's still just the judge's perspective. So, like, if you put something up there that you loved, you looked awesome, you had fun, I think some of that really matters. And for me, I took some of that into this year. Like, I didn't do a show not to win. And I went into New York just like I went into Detroit, expecting to win it and knowing that I was going to put on a show. But I also know bodybuilding now. And I understand that, like, just because the judges pick somebody over me doesn't mean I'm not a great bodybuilder. It doesn't mean that guys in the crowd aren't saying that I should have won, or that, you know, that people would rather look like me than the winner. So all those things, like, now in hindsight and perspective, it's so much easier to just have fun with bodybuilding instead of like, I want to make everybody happy and I want to make everybody my fan and putting all this pressure on myself. Like, bro, why do we do this? Like, this is fun. This is like, I'm just a gym bro that got good at it and now I make money doing it. Like, I'm not trying. I put so much pressure on myself to, like, you got to be Mr. Olympia tomorrow, and it's like, why? Like, I'm just having fun hanging with my bros. And
For real, man. I think that's what makes people good. I think that's what that just that raw, and Joe knows it too, because I could see it every year. I've been around JoJo for like what,
Probably
10
like 10
years.
years,
I've been yeah, 10 or
yeah.
more, but every year I saw like you just like training, you just like being there. You'd show up to the gym, you'd do your thing, you'd have different training partners when you're training with Wayne, you'd have fun. You were into it, but like you never it was that conversation we had with Ian last week,
Yeah.
that paralysis analysis or analysis paralysis and too much thought about it. Just like you said, Martin, the cortisol goes up, especially close to the show. The whole off season, you're thinking about what people think of you. Like that's not good. That's not conducive for anyone.
no, and think about it like this, man. This sport, we let people into our lives more than any other pro athlete.
Yeah.
You don't see, you don't see pro football players in the off season posting, this is my workout and this is what you should do. And if you want to be me, this is what you do. And you don't see these guys, they're in a practice facility completely alone that no regular person can go into. Man, half of us train in a place that any Joe Blow can pay $20 and walk up to you in the middle of your training session when you're one of the most elite guys in the world and say, hey, can I get a picture? So we're letting these people into our lives entirely. And I think some of us put a lot of pressure on ourselves to, like, live up to the world, that all this stuff, right? And it's like Ian was actually somebody that helped me a lot with this, of like, bro, just do it for you. Like if you do it and you're having fun and people see that, they will become a fan of you. Like, when they see that you love it and you have passion, and like that bleeds into other people. But when you're like, I have to win, and it just makes you like moody, and it almost made me hate the sport, bro. Like, I was a year and a half ago, I was at the point, like, I'm like, this sucks. Like, is this bodybuilding for me? Like, I have to get 270. Like, half of our life is miserable because I'm like, can't put on my socks and all these things. And like, I'm not having fun. Like, where's the fun? And like now this year, I'm like, I couldn't be having more fun. Like, I get to train with my best friend every day. We kick each other's ass to the point where we're like, who's driving home, you know? And like, I have the best girlfriend and the best home life, and like everything's just clicking. Like, now me and my girlfriend are both qualified for the Olympia.
Yeah,
So like
congrats
now
on that.
we get to prep together for that. Like, it's just so cool. Like, everything's just clicking, but honestly, it's like a perspective thing, man. Like, I could think that the world is still against me, or that like I could have a chip on my shoulder because Nick beat me at New York and I think I should have won and this and that. But like, no, man, like I'm just having fun, bro. Like, my time will come, and my Mr. Olympia title will be there eventually. But like, I'm 27 years old. How many other guys are 27 having this much fun doing what they love, you know?
That's straight facts. I think like the mindset is huge because like when you're doing it just because you love doing it and you're just enjoying every day, I feel like that's when you get the most out of your progress too, because you're not stressing about things that don't matter, like, someone commenting on social media or what some other guy looks like going into a
Yep.
show or like this and that, or someone says you're shit, you'll never win this, never win that, whatever it is. And I totally agree with that because I feel like even for me, like I'm not quite at your level by any means, but I've still like had those preps where I'm just like, when I'm just enjoying the process and like embracing it, that always produces the best result. And like regardless of anything, like just like Paul said, it's just like just loving to train and like just being in the gym and enjoying it makes a huge difference when you're not putting that pressure on yourself, like, oh, I have to win, I have to win. It's all about the win. But like it's like you're gonna get that win. You're gonna manifest that win by doing the work and actually enjoying it more than just being like so caught up in like the anxiety of like, oh, like I have to like do this, I have to do that, you know?
And like, I mean, in anything, bro, the body follows the mind, right? So like, heard it a million times, but like, there's a reason my body doesn't look stressed out. There was a reason my body doesn't look tired and beat up. Like, like you said, my mind was in such a good place that like, even when I had a bad day, I could focus on the good things that happened that day. You know, it's like in that environment when it's just like, no, nothing could knock me down. Like, I'll figure out a way around it or this or that. Like, man, I had a small quad tear 2 weeks out from New York, and I could have made it like the biggest disaster ever. Like, I couldn't even flex my quad for like 4 days. And it kind of scared Brett and I, but like instead of being like negative about it and like shit, I tore my quad and like I'm not gonna look good at New York, like no, I got in with a massage therapist 4 days in a row. I went and like I checked every single box that I could. I'm like, you know what? Just stay positive. Like, it's gonna work. And like I showed up to New York and I never had a single issue with the quad. Does it still hurt? Like, to train? Yeah, it hurts like a bitch, but it looked good. And that's all that mattered, you know? But like, I think if I would have had a negative mindset about it, I don't think it would have been ready.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's so true.
I think ignorance sometimes is bliss too. Like those years. I know when I started competing, the years where I didn't know much about the process, I just trusted coaches. I trusted everything. I didn't really give a fuck. I didn't go in thinking I was going to win an overall. Unlike most young people today, they all think they're going to get the overall. But that's a different story. Different generation, man. It's different generations. But the years that I went in just like not really caring, loving the training and enjoying the whole thing. Like I go to the gym, snap some pictures, feel really good about things, feel great about my life, love my coaches. Those were the years that, you really, and I'm nowhere near where you guys are, but I think those are the years, you're right, Martin. Those are the years your body just shows it. You look fresh no matter what.
Mhm.
And even an injury, you're like, fuck it, it's an injury. I'm
Yeah.
young, I'll get over it. Yeah,
No,
for
and,
real.
and bro, like I know both you two just said this, and I hate it honestly. It's like I'm nowhere near you. Like, no, bro, you're doing the same thing, bro. Bodybuilding is the same shit, man. Well, I've just been doing a little longer, like got a little better genetics, but like at the end of the day, bro, like that's why I love this, is because like it's just guys that are truly passionate. Like, good bodybuilders, bro, all they are is like most of us are just fucking nerds that obsess or had an addictive personality and just chose to put it in a better thing than what we were gonna put it in, man. Like, I'll be honest, like I come from two addictive parents that are struggle with alcoholism and a bunch of bullshit, man. And like I just chose to put my addictive personality into something that was a little more beneficial for me than drinking, you know? I'm just one of the boys, And you know, I truly love this sport because of that. Like, it saved me, and I've watched it save a lot of my friends from being idiots and doing stupid things. And so, like, you guys saying that, like, I'm just giving you shit, but don't say that, man. Like, you're on the same level as me. You're a bodybuilder, and that's all there is to it.
Joe's saying he plays top five. He plays top five as soon as he stepped off the amateur, like the amateur show. He plays top five the next day. So Joe's got to give himself a little bit more credit, but that's okay.
Yeah, but
I'm
I took
giving him
this year
shit
off,
now.
so I'm like, I feel like I'm not in the loop as much because I'm like I haven't competed this year, but I'll be back up there next year for sure. And like I don't doubt my ability to do well in pro shows. I just like to give props where it's due. Like I turned pro, I think I turned pro before Martin. When did you turn pro?
2020.
Yeah, so I turned pro in 2019, like about a year
Yeah.
before. And you can always just tell, like you see someone like coming up and you're just like, okay, this guy's gonna be like he's gonna be someone like fucking good. Like I could tell by
Hey,
just
hey,
seeing him come up, and I'm like, not taking anything away from myself. I'm like, yeah, I know I can, place in pro shows and like potentially win one, get to the Olympia,
yeah,
whatever. But I'm like, I'm not delusional. I don't think I could be top five in an Olympia. You know what I mean? Like in the back of my mind, I'd love to be, but it's like, those guys that are like
Of
gonna
course.
get there. And it's like I saw Martin like when he was still an amateur, like following him on social media, and I'm like, yeah, this guy's gonna get there. And like seeing him come up there and like seeing him get to that point where it's just like
yeah.
he's already like past where I've been on pro stages and like winning pro shows at like elite levels. So it's crazy to watch. And like, it's just like giving props where it's due kind of thing.
I'm
No,
not
I
gonna lie.
appreciate it, man.
New York, I was like, yeah, that dude could be Mr. Olympia one day for sure.
For
You've
sure,
got
man.
for your age and the package and your aesthetics. That's something, that's something that's changing in this game. The aesthetic, like when I look at classic physique, all the guys have amazing frames. When I look at open, I think that's the factor that's changing. Because I
Mm-hmm.
watched at the Toronto Pro, in my opinion, they could have switched around some places. Fifth could have been third. I don't want
Yep.
to name names, but like the
Mm-hmm.
conditioning was wild on fifth place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not naming names. I'm not saying anything, but like the two top guys, well, Akeem's pretty big, right? So Quentin though placing second, that's a good physique. That's a good like very very new age old school physique.
Yep.
And then you got guys like Andrew Jack who are very tall, slim, slim waist. It's changing.
Bodybuilding's in a really cool spot right now, man. First, I gotta say thank you for saying that. I've thought since the time I was little I could be Mr. Olympia, man. I know that's like a weird thing to say, but my favorite cartoon was Hercules, and I started watching Jay Cutler around 12 years old on YouTube. And I always used to flex when I was a kid and stuff, and my mom always used to say like, "You'll be one of the best bodybuilders in the world because I know you put your head down and do anything you set your mind to." And I ran into Jay Cutler when I was 19 years old, man, posing in a locker room. I was getting ready for a national show, or I was 20, I was just about to turn 21. And Jay walks in and he says, "Holy shit, kid, you look awesome." And I'm like, "Holy shit, you're Jay Cutler. I've been watching your YouTube videos since I was a little kid, like so starstruck." And he said, "Look, I've only told one other person this, and he happened to be Mr. Olympia." He said, I told Phil when he was just a kid that he could be Mr. Olympia. And I'm going to tell you right now that you could be Mr. Olympia." So I've kept that chip on my shoulder, man. I'm not going to make Jay wrong. So he said that Phil would do it, and he said that I'll do it, and I'll make sure to prove him right, because I think that um, if he believed in me, then I can do it, man. I truly think that. And I've had Phil tell me the same thing. It's just a matter of time, and it's not being impatient, man. I think so many guys want to rush this. And it's hard not to, man. Like, don't get me wrong. I've been that guy too. I've definitely wanted to rush this and be Mr. Olympia tomorrow, but I see now that it's like it's a patience game, man. Like, I put on 2 pounds a year for the next couple years, and then like I'm untouchable when I'm there. But it just takes
Ron,
time.
yeah. Look at Big Ron. Ronnie Coleman was,
Yeah.
he was a third call out dude. Maybe not even get in the Olympia at one point.
Yep.
Whether he was natural or not, I mean, he probably was. And you know, I don't know what changes manifested this whole, you know, Olympia, you know, focus persona, like this change, this metamorphosis. But he changed, fuck man, like he changed quick. And I think it's just the time game. Like we think it's quick, but to him it would probably seem like forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, we
Mm-hmm.
had Lee Priest on the other day, and you get that quote from Ronnie Coleman, and I kept sharing it, where Ronnie Coleman was like, the worst day of his life was when Lee Priest beat him. And it's funny because you know what? Like, and Lee Priest is a phenomenal bodybuilder, but I think for everybody, there's a stage where they just want to rush the process. And
Yep.
Ronnie was going to give up. It's funny that Ronnie, of all people, was going to give up. You
Yep.
know, can you imagine?
Yep. No, man. You know, the funny thing is you guys were talking about me like this today. And 2 years ago, bro, I have a screenshot from Brett. I was so fucking mad after the Arnold UK, bro. Like, I was just so pissed. Like, I took 5 more weeks from Texas. I was way more peeled out of my mind. And like, I moved backwards 2 places. Like, I just was like mind blown, you know? And like, my judges' feedback was like really hard for me to swallow because they were like, you could just be like a little more dry. And I'm like, I took 2 full Dizide. Like, that probably wasn't the problem. Like, I'm like, I probably should have maybe drank some water. Like, I was super flat. That was maybe the issue. But so I was like heartbroken, bro. And like, I texted Brett and I said, like, I'm done. Like, I'm gonna go back to working construction and like just lift weights and like I'm still gonna bodybuild, but like I just don't care about competing anymore. Like I don't like the passion wasn't there, you know. I could just feel like I'm like I don't nothing about this feels right. Like I got better and I still moved backwards and like I don't know. I just like I felt like the whole world was against me, right? And Brett texted me and he said like shut the fuck up. He said like you're gonna be one of the best bodybuilders in the world. You just gotta like wait your turn. Like stop putting so much pressure on yourself. Like you're not going to be Mr. Olympia tomorrow. Phil wasn't Mr. Olympia before 30, so knock it off. And I remember texting back and being like, all right, fuck you. You're right. I'm not going to quit, but I'm tired of this. You know, I was just so mad. And after I won Detroit, he sent me the screenshot of it and was like, see, you stupid bastard. If you'd have quit then, you wouldn't be where you are now. So you know, it's kind of one of those reminders like keep going even when it's tough and feel like the whole world's against you and it's nothing's going right. Cause man, I felt like that. I felt like no matter what I did, everything was going left and nothing could go right. And the world was against me. And then I had all that bullshit online with bad, you know, publicity and stuff. And it made me just want to like crawl in a hole and go away from it all. And it was like, honestly, again, you know, that's why Brett is my best friend and more than just a training partner. It's like, you know, he told me like, no, you just got bucked off. Get your ass back up on the horse and like do it again. It's just what you do. Like sometimes you take it on the chin and you just gotta walk through it and take it on the chin, you know? And you know, so it's cool now, especially to be in the position I'm in and have Brett here still by my side. Like, see, I told you, you big dummy. Like
I love it, man. Everybody goes through it. The consensus from the pros that I hear, like Terrence was on last week too. Same thing happened to him. I think Joe, you had a little slump. Ian had a slump. I think all the best, not only the best, but bodybuilding is a hard fucking sport. I don't think people realize how hard this is. Like just to train day in, day out, eat day in, day out, make the sacrifices. Like we'll
Yeah.
play it off and we'll say, no, no, I love it and it's not that hard. But really, like, I don't think an average person would do it for a fucking week. So,
No. And I think you know, a lot of people like you have to go through those phases at some point because you know what happened to Martin where it's just like you're at that point. It's happened to me too, where I've been like, you know, like going after last year, I was like, you know, I did well for me in New York, you know, I got fourth and I
mhm.
was all fired up because it was a pretty good lineup. Then I go to Toronto and I come in off and I was just like, you know, I get fifth and I'm just like sitting there like, fuck, man. Like, and that's what made me like take this year off because I was just like, man, I need to just get back into like just loving to train and like just embracing the process and actually love it again and not be like so obsessed with the placings as much and like just like actually enjoy it. Cause I was like, after that, man, I was just like, I wasn't really enjoying it. And I was almost in the same boat where I'm just like, fuck, do I even want to do this? Like, you know, I'm already like, you know, like right now I'm like, I'm 32. Like, do I really want to like fucking, you know, keep doing this? And I'm in my 30s. And it's like, when you say that to some people, they're like, oh, you're only 32. But I'm like, but yeah, like, you know, to be that at that level, you know, when you've been competing for a decade already, it's like
Mhm.
not
And
easy, you know?
you've been doing it since you were like 16. You know, that's what people don't understand. You've been doing this all
Yeah.
your life.
Well, yeah,
Even
like I started,
tiny.
yeah, my first show I did, I was like 20. So it's like, yeah, you've been doing it since like 20. So it's like it's a long time. But yeah, like when you get that chance to like kind of reassess and like then you get that drive behind it again, then it's like you're enjoying it again. And it's like, you know, you're willing to go back in there and do it, you know, and it's I'm glad that Martin didn't quit and do construction because then we wouldn't get Mr. Olympia. So
No, for sure, man. And no, like you said, I mean, I think a lot of that, like, it gets put in perspective for you. And like I think everybody needs like a make or break moment, you know, and some people break in that time frame, and some people, you know, come out on top and triumph from it or whatever, you know, and all of that is part of the process, you know. It's what makes you a better bodybuilder or not a better bodybuilder. Some people just can't hack it either because of that too, you know. But again, like you said, like bodybuilding, bro, this is the hardest sport on the planet. Like you pro football players, bro, like I have multiple pro football players that are buddies and pro baseball players that are buddies, and they get downtime and they get to walk away from the sport for a little while. And like they get to be normal humans for a few days. And like, yeah, like they might not get to go out in public because like they're more famous than like we are in that sense. But like, bro, like they get to walk away from football entirely and like not have to touch a football for a couple months. Like you do that as a bodybuilder, bro, you're fucked. Like your season is done. Like you don't really get that. Like, I mean, I guess if you're Chris Bumstead, you can take 90 days off or whatever, but like the rest of us, bro, we train year round. Like
yeah.
I'm taking 1 day, 2 days off a week. And if I do more than that, I'm like, fuck, I might be missing my chance to squeak past somebody, you know?
But not just only that, but like, you know, it's funny you mentioned Chris because like we're not just talking training, but like financially, like bodybuilders gotta hustle. You gotta have sponsors, you gotta post to social media, you gotta
Oh,
be
this is the
relevant all the time, right? Like
most
only Chris Bumstead
expensive.
could fuck off for like 6 months and still be relevant right now, you know? The
Yeah.
kids all like
So
Chris
true.
Bumstead, they know him, it's embedded in their brains. But if anyone else, even I think even Derek Lunsford, like we were talking about Derek as Mr. Olympia. But like, if he was to take, who was Mr. Olympia that didn't really do too much? Well, who was
Probably
before
Rami.
Derek?
Rami.
Rami, yeah, Rami for sure. But
Rami.
he's like Middle Eastern like following. It was
Even Brandon didn't do a
Yeah.
lot.
that's who I was thinking of. Brandon, yeah, yeah. I mean, he didn't do. He tried, but he was kind of into his training and whatnot. And I think it
Hmm.
really hurt his Olympia status.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, man, I mean, truly in open, we haven't had an ambassador since Phil. And most people didn't like how he was an ambassador of the sport. So we really haven't had an ambassador since Jay, if
And
you think
Ron,
that way.
yeah, Jay was a perfect ambassador. He
Oh,
still is. I think we
100%.
look at him
That,
as that.
that's
Yeah, I feel like
he still is the man. And honestly, man, like he's pulled Chris and me aside and like he's told us like, hey, you guys are the next ones. Like you have to do this. Like if you want that though, like it's a job. It's traveling every weekend. It's shaking every single hand. It's staying until your line is done, not until your time is done. It's those things all matter, bro. Like that kind of stuff is huge, bro. And like this last year, that's something that I've tried to take full force of. Is like I want to be somebody like I don't just want to be Mr. Olympia. Like I want to change the sport. I want kids, like I want young kids to get back to like it's not about views and likes. It's about like training your ass off and like having fun with your best friends and like that will translate to being a good bodybuilder. But like I know like you guys fell in love with this like how I did, where it's like you watched in the magazines and you watched these guys work their butts off and progress, and they didn't do it for the views. They didn't do it for the money. Like, bro, before recently, like in social media and stuff, like money was non-existent unless you had a good cell tech. sponsorship, but like the passion of bodybuilding
Right.
was there. Like
Yeah.
if you loved it, you would spend your whole freaking paycheck on it, man. Like before I went pro, I worked construction 70 hours a week. And I spent every fucking dollar I made every week on groceries and training and steroids to be a bodybuilder, man. Like
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
have spent, and sometimes I spent more than what I made and hoped that I was gonna get a bonus or some shit, you know?
Well, fuck it, all paid off, man. All paid off, bro. It all paid off now. I mean, I think that's part of the hustle, and being passionate about it. You're right. You're right, man. Absolutely, man. We give as much to the sport as the sport gives us, and the more you give, the more it'll give you back. Like, but it's not about making money. It really isn't. I
Oh,
mean, whoever like wanted to be, the best at something opposed to being the best at something and being loaded. I mean, I think just
Yeah, it's
being the
like why would
best
you
is
why would you choose bodybuilding just to make money? You know, I feel like
yeah.
that's probably like
there's
why
much
would
better
why you
sports.
pick something so you picking something so fucking hard just to make money, you know? Like I feel like you could pick something
Yeah,
you just want to make money.
I think too, man, like you see it in every sport, but like the true greats like Jay, like Tom Brady, like bro, none of those things matter. It's about building a legacy. It's about making people like remember you forever and like remember what you did as like a great human being, not how much money you made or like the contract you made. Like Tom Brady's a perfect example of that, bro. Like he's made more money than he could ever spend. But for him, like he kept coming back because he wanted to win championships. He wanted to solidify himself as like there's no one that was ever as great as Tom Brady. And like that to me is like where I would like to see myself eventually in bodybuilding, bro. Like I want to build a legacy in this. I don't care about the money. Like if I broke even at the end of this, like I got to live my dream and I don't have any debt. Cool. It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
like I don't want to be rich. I don't want Lamborghinis and a fancy car, bro. Like give me a Sandow. I don't give a shit about the cars and the houses and the give me a Sandow, man. And I truly love this, man. Like I don't want to do anything else. Like I'm just so lucky that I get to do this for my job and my life and like I couldn't be more thankful, man. Like in the past, like all those times that I was down and felt the ways that I felt about bodybuilding, like I'm almost like disappointed in myself because now I'm like, bro, like look at what you're doing. Like you get to live the coolest dream, you know? There's people that go to work every day and like hate their job. And like
Yeah.
I
you,
don't have to do any of that, bro. I get to go to the gym and train with my best friend and that's my job. Like that's wild.
yeah, yeah. Joe too. He's an entrepreneur here, and he makes money like training clients and doing all types of bodybuilding related stuff. I've thought about it because I'm an old dude that was working, the 9 to 5 kind of
Hmm.
deal, and I never really pursued that. But I look at you guys, and it's like, wow, man. Not only are you living your passion and doing great, but you're having fun at the same time. And you're making your money. That's a fucking life, man. And maybe being Mr. Olympia in a couple of years,
Yeah,
right?
man. No, absolutely. That's the plan, bro. And like I said, it's only a matter of time, bro. Like as long as I stay injury free and just keep doing what I'm doing, bro, like I truly think it's a matter of time, Let these guys have their time in the top five and do that. Like I still haven't hit muscle maturity yet. I still need a few more pounds, but I know that when this all comes together, like when I hit my breakout time, I'm gonna be super dangerous, bro. And I'm excited for it myself, Like I want to see what that looks like.
No, I
Dude, I
can't
don't know
wait to
what
see
these
it,
pro
man. I think it's gonna be wicked. But yeah, I think
get ahead of.
we'll wrap it up. Just because well I gotta go to the gym just to train clients. But
Hell yeah.
no,
Yeah, yeah.
I really appreciate you coming on, man. It was good to like kind of catch up and see where you're at. And I think we'll have to try and get you back on again, maybe get you and Brett on at the same time.
Absolutely.
I think that'd be pretty badass to have you guys on at the same time because you guys are like buddies, training partners,
Yeah,
everything. And like
of course.
ideally, hopefully both of you are doing the Olympia this year, so that'd be sick too.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, but yeah,
Talk
really,
about that and the plan for the Olympia. I want to ask you about that. So we'll do that next time.
Yeah, bro, absolutely. No, please, just like I said, Joe, just reach out and we'll plan up another time, bro. Because one, we wanted to get on about an hour earlier and it just didn't
Yeah.
happen. And then, but no, we'll make it happen, bro. I'd be happy to hop on again, and we'll definitely chop more shop about like the plans for the Olympia and the prep and those type of things coming forward. And then if you want, we'll definitely get Brett on here too, because that'd be fun as well.
Yeah, that'd be amazing, man. I appreciate you coming on today.
Of course.
Yeah, Martin, I'm honored to be in the same panel as you guys, to have someone like as great as you here today. I love seeing you, like the best of the best, like current bodybuilders here. So thank you, man. Much
Of course.
appreciated.
No,
We'll see you
absolutely,
again,
man.
though.
Like,
I hope.
yeah,
Um,
of course.
yeah. And for the viewers, guys, just so you know, we're gonna start our Instagram, or we just started our Instagram. So subscribe, so that way we can keep you posted on the content. We had Lee Priest on last week with Ian. So we're gonna have big panels, big names. Hopefully we'll get Martin in on one of these big bodybuilding panels. We're also gonna do different topics. Joe and I are gonna be bringing some entrepreneurs on, gonna have a topic like a podcast on entrepreneurship. So we're
Cool.
gonna do a lot of things here on Big Deal Little Joe. And if you guys can subscribe, like, make sure you like Joe's content as well. Again, we're just bodybuilders, loving the game, trying to make a living here. So anyways, thank you for watching, guys, and please subscribe. Martin, we'll have you back on. It's an honor. Joe, go do your shit. I know you're busy.
All right. I'll see you later, guys.
Thank you,
Peace.
guys.
Take
Later.
care, man.
Peace.
3, 2, 1.